Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. I am your host for tonight, Carly, and I am joined by my amazing co-hosts. We're going to start at the bottom of my screen and work our way around. Jody B.
Hi, everybody.
Mean Gene. Kevin.
Hang on a second, Gene. We're an audio podcast.
I forget that, because I'm looking at you guys.
No.
This is true.
If you want to try this again, we'll
Let's
go
try
take
that again. God, I'm such an idiot.
It's Jeff's favorite thing now.
We should choose. We need to pick a lane. You know what I'm saying? Are we audio or are we video?
I
Because
know.
We're primarily audio, but some people like to watch the video, and it doesn't take anything more to upload the video.
I know that. I'm just joking. Yeah,
But
it's just jokes.
You want me to punch him for you?
It's
I will.
okay.
He's ruined my intro.
It's okay.
I did not ruin the intro.
Yes, you did.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
I think-
I ruined the intro. I'll own that. I'm
I
sorry.
think the Marcia Brady corner here ruined the intro.
All right. Back to the craziness. Mean Gene with his peace signs. Kevin.
Hey, everybody.
Lonnie G.
Hi, everyone.
And my counterpart here, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm so excited. Like, I really didn't think we were going to make it this long, guys. But here we are.
Well, wow. Okay. Didn't see that from you.
And just so you guys know,
Great.
we will be here for at least another year because we just renewed our subscription.
That's
Hey,
right.
there you go.
Even if we have no listeners, we
That's
will
okay.
still be cranking these out for another year. It is a sister episode to episode 34, which was Blinging with the Binnings. And they talked about all of the amazing trip that they had. They talked about all of the expenses of Disney. And so tonight it's Ducks on a Budget. We are going to go in the opposite direction and talk about doing Disney on the cheap, which if you've been to Disney, you know is not an easy feat. But before we do that, we've got a little bit of a question to get us started. So, what is everyone's favorite candy bar? Let's start off with Kevin. Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, with Halloween tomorrow, I'm hoping to get a few of these, and the kids are excited. I may have to steal theirs if they get them, but mine is Reese Cups. Always, they've always been my favorite, and I eat them kind of funny. Everybody has a different way of eating them, I think, but my way, I eat around the side, then the top and the bottom, and then eat the peanut butter in the middle by itself.
Okay, so I've heard people eat around the outside, but then the top and the bottom go?
Top and the bottom, and
Christy,
then eat
too.
the peanut butter by itself.
Really?
I need video of this. I think this needs
I don't know that I need video, but I do want to see after you've eaten the top and the bottom, just what's
Oh.
left of peanut butter.
And if you do it just right, you can get it where you don't get any of the peanut butter in the middle. You just get the outside edge, the top edge, and bottom, and then it's a perfect little hockey puck.
Why don't you just get yourself a spoon and a thing of Jif?
Because
It's not the
Reese's
same.
peanut butter's different.
It's different.
So your peanut butter and your chocolate never meet.
No.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is sad.
But here's the big question. Are you a regular Reese cup? Are you a big cup with pretzels? Are you the big cup with potato chips? Like
I haven't had the one with potato chips. I do like chocolate and pretzels are my favorite, kind of non-candy bar. But yeah, I like those, but I'll stick with the classic.
Classic.
I also love Reese cups, but they have to be thrown in the freezer for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Good
best.
call.
Best.
I forgot to say that. That is the way to do it.
All right, Lonnie G, let's hear from you. Favorite candy bar?
Well, back in the day, it was world's famous chocolate. You remember we used to sell them in school all the time, but
Yeah.
they have quickly shrunk. So now it's Hershey's,
Just a plain old Hershey candy bar.
just a plain old chunk of chocolate. That's it.
All
Good
right.
stuff.
I'm old school.
I think
Not
that's-
with almonds?
I'll take the almonds, but I don't have to have them.
Dark chocolate or milk
almonds
chocolate?
a bonus. But if somebody gives me the regular chocolate, I'm good with that.
Are you the milk chocolate or the dark chocolate? The special darks? Are we froze?
I don't know.
I do like the milk and the dark. You know what? Just put Hershey chocolate. I mean, literally, it can be dark. It could
All
be,
of it.
except you know what? I don't like the Hershey's white chocolate though.
Ew,
No.
I
Yeah.
don't like that one. So I'll take the dark chocolate and I'll take the regular milk chocolate with or without almonds.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
choice.
All right, Mean Gene, how about you?
It's like asking me which is my favorite kid. I mean, that's so difficult.
AB.
We know that's not a difficult answer. Come on, Gene.
That's not true.
That's
That's not true. That's not true. That's a great kid. Love them both. Anyway, very similarly, today I might say Butterfinger, but not every day. I've got to go on a tangent here because I've heard some things and it reminds me, I went to a fall fest tonight and one of the high school kids that was working the booth with me, he asked me this question. And so I have to pose it to you. Is it Reese's or is it Reese's?
Reese's.
So I've already heard several people say already. So I've got two lists going.
Oh,
Lonnie,
we're making a list.
Reese's or Reese's?
It's
Reese's.
Reese's
It's
because
Reese's Pieces.
owned by Reese.
Wait, hold, stop. Lonnie, is it Reese's,
Reese's.
or Reese's? Excuse me.
Reese's.
Okay.
Reese.
So that's Lonnie.
Agreed.
Jody,
Reese.
Reese. Okay. So is it Reese's Pieces?
Yeah. It's Reese's Pieces.
No.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Reese's
Reese's Pieces.
Yes.
Jeff, I've already heard say Reese's, but then it sounded like he said Reese's at one
It's
point.
Reese's Pieces, but it's Reese's Cups.
You
It's the
changed
same. It's the same word, Jeff. It's the same.
It doesn't matter.
the
one has
same
pieces
word.
and one doesn't.
Right, but it's still the same Reese.
No.
That's right.
It's Reese has possession of the pieces.
That's his
and
possessive.
Reese has the possession of the cups,
Mm-hmm.
of the peanut butter cups.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I submit to you that it's Reese's, and everybody that says Reese's is wrong. I'm just that's
I agree
my.
with you.
I
That's my
agree
only
with you
opinion.
Agreed.
100%.
I'm not going to fight anybody over it. I'm just that's my. It's one of those things I believe I hold dear, to my heart. I'm just
I am
saying.
with you.
Okay?
I just want to eat it.
I think you're right.
Oh, I am. Okay, that's all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So after all of that, it's still Butterfinger?
Yeah.
It's really Reese's, but I didn't want to go there, and then I decided I might as well.
All right, Jody, how about you?
I'm a slight variation of the Reese cup. I love Take Five bars, which are the pretzel chocolate
Mhm.
peanut butter combo. But I also have a very strict policy about my candy. The fruit flavored candy, that gross stuff like the Skittles, Starburst, that nastiness, shall not touch or be in the same area as the chocolate candy because then it makes the chocolate candy taste bad. So on Halloween night, you must take all those fruity flavored things and they need to go live in their own baggie in a separate area from the chocolate flavored things because they don't taste, they make the chocolate taste not yummy. So
And you got to dig through all the junk to get to the good stuff.
yeah,
I got a question for you guys. What is that orange and black chocolate? It's not chocolate. It's orange or black wrappers and a paper. It's like this cane that you unwrap. I don't know
It's
what
like
the
honey
name of it.
something. It's good.
Oh yeah, they're like a.
No, it's not good. It's
No,
like,
It's like a taffy.
you have
It's like a
orange and
taffy,
black,
but
and it's
Yeah,
not
it's
good at all.
It's like a peanut butter taffy. That's
peanut
right.
butter taffy.
No, it's
Yeah.
not good. It's not a
That's
taffy.
good. It's good.
Horrible.
No, it's
Do you
horrible.
know, Jody, that those candies are all individually wrapped, so they don't really
no,
mingle, right?
I'm sorry, I don't believe you. They taste they like the odor comes out of
Oh, there it is.
fruit smell gets near the other candies and they infiltrate the chocolate and the chocolate has to be pure.
The chocolate. I love that.
Yes, no. Mm-mm.
That's fantastic. All right, let's hear from you,
Makes
Jeff.
sense to me.
If I am going with chocolate, I am going with a Milky Way.
Nobody said you had to go with chocolate. I
Ugh.
said candy.
That's what we got on the marathon, right?
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
Milky Way bars.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
like Milky Way.
I like the strawberry and the grape nerds. But if I'm someplace special, I will go get a box of Fannie Mae chocolate, and they have the mint meltaways, and those are really good. But we don't
The
get
company that has the mortgage on your house, Fannie Mae?
Anyway,
Yes,
No,
Okay.
Yes.
this is the candy company.
they actually were bought out by Harry London, weren't they?
Yes.
But Fannie Mae was a Chicago-based candy company bought by Harry London a while ago. and now they have Fannie Mae. They're just special candies.
Okay. Look at you sounding all snooty. Special candies.
At least I let mine touch.
I don't know, but would you let your bougie candy hang out with your non-bougie candy?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Nerds cannot touch Fannie Mae candy, Jeff. It would ruin it.
No. Nerds shouldn't touch
Can
anything.
you mix your fruity candies
Milky Way.
together?
Does anybody like Milky Way? Milky Way is like horrible.
I like
Milky
Milky Way
okay.
Special Dark.
Okay.
Those
Oh,
are
those are good.
It
I
is
like-
not okay, Gene. You remember off of Marathon when they gave us Milky Way? It was like the worst.
You probably gave me yours.
I was
don't know.
gagging.
were-
I gave you my
I-
Milky Way. I was like, who? I asked the people, where's the Dove chocolate? Like, this is what we have.
They were
Better
frozen
than-
solid though.
Where's the
Better than
dark
Three
chocolate?
Musketeer. That's a wasted chocolate candy.
That is also a waste of chocolate. You're right.
The
How about
Milky Ways
almond-
at the
how about
marathon were
almond
frozen
joy?
solid.
Almond
I can't
Joy?
handle Almond Joy.
With-
No.
Nah.
Almond Joy.
I don't want that either.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
this is just spiraled. It is insane.
So I have something I have to add to this conversation. It's very special. I needs to be said. So when Kevin is talking about how he eats a Reese's peanut butter cup, so my wife eats every candy bar. Like there are some candy bars she won't like. She wouldn't eat it like we're in public because she didn't want anybody giving her a side eye look. Because like a Twix bar, she eats everything off of it but the cookie, and then eats the cookie. A Kit Kat, the same. A Butterfinger. I don't think she does a Butterfinger. Maybe I don't know. Same thing with a Reese's peanut butter cup. Eats all the chocolate off of it. She also eats Taco Bell a little strange. We don't necessarily need to go into this now, but it's something worth talking about sometime because it's very interesting.
It's a good thing
How
she
does
doesn't
she eat
listen
her
to the
Willy
show.
Wonka
Gene.
chocolate?
Say again.
How does she eat her Willy Wonka chocolate?
I don't know that I've ever seen her eat Willy Wonka.
Really?
chocolate. Really?
Man,
Does the
Willy
spittle
Wonka's
she
the
pick
best.
out each color individually?
Some of them have a gold wrapper that you go to the house. where they
She
make
does specifically have me buy what is it? Sour Patch Kids, strawberry Sour Patch Kids, and they only carry them at certain places.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, nothing weird about this conversation.
Well, Carly, what about
Carly,
you?
how about you?
I'm
What's your
going to bring
favorite?
something slightly new to the table. Have any of you have the Reese's Fast Breaks?
I think I have.
It's
don't
like
know.
a Reese's bar,
Mhm.
and it's all the Reese's normal stuff, the chocolate and the peanut butter, but then it has nougat in it. Oh my gosh, I had never had one until a week ago, and I finally tried one because I was standing at the checkout at a gas station, and of course I looked down at the candy and it was calling my name. I really wanted a Reese cup, but I didn't want to have to like leave the register and go back and find one. So I grabbed a Fast Break, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, they're there.
Apparently, I had them, but my teenager ate them.
That's an empty bag of Reese's.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's awesome. I've never seen a bag. So Jody's holding up a bag of Reese's,
it's
and
take 5 Fast Break and regular Reese peanut butter cups.
oh,
That's like your heaven candy.
That
That's
is
what
bar.
Reese's
amazing.
bags look like in my house. They're always empty.
right.
This
I
one had-
was 45 pounds.
And I had to write a note on it. It said, "Lindsay, these are not for you. Stay out." And they were hidden in my office, like in a place where she shouldn't have found them. Anyway, so
And
yeah,
keep your fruity candy away.
keep your fruity candy away from my chocolate.
All right. Well, I never knew that was going to devolve into such a large conversation about candy. Like, I thought we only got this passionately aggressive about Disney, but here we are. So, shall we hope for the same amount of passion about Disney on a budget?
Good segue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried because I knew you were going to give me crap for it because you do every week. So, we are going to talk about how to do Disney on a budget. And I struggle with this because we don't often do Disney on a budget. We save and save and save so that when we go down there, we can just do Disney the way we want. But when we've been doing a lot of quick weekend trips, we've started to have to learn how to do Disney on more of a budget. So I feel like you guys are going to teach me a lot of things that I need to know for more of these trips, but maybe I've got some for you too. So who wants to start us off with a Disney tip for Disney on a budget?
Well, I'll start off with one because I did it today. So I will give you one of my tips. So we're fortunate enough that we have a Disney outlet store not too far from us. And my son had a soccer tournament and it was only about 10 minutes away from that outlet. So of course we had to make a left turn and go up there to do a little shopping. So one of my favorite things to do before trips is to if possible, either look at the online store or the real store and pick up something ahead of time. And you can do this at a Disney store, or even our Gap has Disney shirts and stuff like that. But in particular, what I like to get there, he's really into pin trading. And if you go and buy the pins at the resort or when you're on your vacation, they're, I don't know, $16, $18 per pin or something like that. Yeah. So I like to go to the store and buy all the pins on clearance. Today they were $2.68. And so I buy a whole thing of them, like 10 or 12 or whatever. And so then he can use those to trade when we're at the parks, because they're still the real true. It's not a fake generic pin. It's a real true Disney pin, but he can trade it for whatever pin he wants. But I'm only spending $2.68 instead of $16. So that's one of my favorite ways to save some money. You do have to do a little planning ahead of time, but you can get some good deals that way.
That's an awesome tip.
We actually just ordered a bag of pins from Amazon because Riley trades them through, collects them, but we didn't think about it until just now that she was out of pins to trade. So we had them delivered to the resort so that they can be there when we get there and check in. So we get a big bag of like 25 or 50 pins. She'll go through, pick through the ones that she wants, and we'll trade out the rest, and we'll go from there.
Awesome.
For sure.
I'll add one. So before going down, you talked about going to the outlet and things like that. The travel is one of the things that can get pretty expensive whenever you have a family. So sometimes if you play it right and you look for coupons and stuff online, you can rent a car pretty cheap and then drive down if you live close enough. And with gas being super expensive, it's not as good of a deal as it used to be. But if you've got 5 or 6 people with you, I mean, it adds up pretty quick. I mean, the savings adds up pretty quick. If you're flying down at $300 a ticket, you can pretty much drive down for that. So that's something that we do sometimes is we'll rent a car and drive down.
And make the kids pitch in. Make the kids pitch in.
Oh, yeah.
Divide up the cost with them.
Or leave the kids at home.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good budget tip, too. Yeah.
But to piggyback off what you're saying, Kevin, there are tons of discounts. We asked a few years ago because we were going to rent a car and go down or rent a car when we were there. We asked people, like, are there any good companies? And they said, you know what, you can go online. If you have a membership at Costco or Sam's Club, you can sometimes find discounts through there. If you're a government employee, so teachers and you're a government employee, all kinds of discounts that way. Sometimes different groups have discounts that you may not even be aware of. That
AP has discounts for car rentals.
Yeah. So definitely check out different discount programs online and see if you qualify.
I'll add one more. And I have the Disney credit card. And so I use that everywhere I can. And so with every dollar you spend, you get points on that or dollars back. Mm-hmm. So then they give you a card that you can use anywhere at Disney. I've bought my tickets like that. I've bought things at the park, food at the park. It works just like any other card. So,
yep.
That's something, Kevin, because this is one of the things I put, maximize the Disney discounts. Disney Plus had a discount. APs, to Jeff's point, have discounts. Right along that, if you use a travel agent, and usually you get a good one, and they are free, right? Disney pays them. Mm-hmm. But I think you're missing the boat if you don't use one, because as new discounts come open, you can have them go back and apply those discounts to your bill if you're staying on site. And another thing, if you're going to be paying your bill, I know Carly said they like to save up and then, they can go and do what they want. I was in Sam's Club the other day, and if you buy a $500 gift card, I think it was $486 or something like that. So basically, you're saving $15 on $500 anyway. So
that's a great idea.
Buy those cards, and they add up. You're paying your DVC dues, right? Paying that, you can pay them with a gift card if you want, and you're saving that extra 15, 30, $45 just by buying those cards and applying them.
Word of caution
Hey.
there.
We did this because we used our Target Red card and we bought the gift cards at Target. So then we got Target money off.
5% off of that too. But that was in spring of 2020, and we had several $1,000s of Disney gift cards that were set aside for our trip. And whenever everything canceled, we were stuck with several $1,000s of Disney gift cards that were all refunded back. And even though we combined them onto one card, we still had to go through and figure out which card it all got refunded back to.
Yeah.
And not knowing what things were opening back at that time, we didn't know how soon we'd be using this, and it kind of tied up a lot of cash on gift cards that were just sitting there that we didn't really.
That's like a fluke incident because really, how often has Disney closed like that ever? But
if something comes up and
if
you cancel
something
your trip,
comes up and you have to cancel your trip, that's something. Maybe you don't want all that money tied up in gift cards.
If you have a family emergency and you can't go, and now your money's tied up on gift cards that you could be using for something else.
That's a very good point. So I guess the key is if you're going to do certain things, right? If I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Disney, go to Sam's, buy the gift cards. You can combine them and get $1,000.
I think it's $1,000 per card.
Yeah,
and per card. So I'm gonna, and I always when we go to, and Gene can attest to this, when we go on trips, I just buy a couple of gift cards and I just bring those, right? Because I know what I'm spending. To give you your receipt, to tell you how much you have left on it, and like I said with DVC dues, you have to pay that, right? So that's one thing. Okay. Disney going to take that.
So that's a good tip too. That's a good tip too, Lonnie, that kind of keeps you where you got kind of a budget on a card like that. And you kind of, that'll help you kind of stay within a budget too.
Oh yeah. It's so easy when you have your Magic Band and you're just scanning away.
Right.
And then the bill comes, you're like, I don't remember buying that. But if you have a gift card, you're like, yeah, okay, I see how much I have left on the receipt. I better pull it back.
Yep.
Exactly.
Kind of piggybacking off of you a little bit, Lonnie, when you talked about booking your trip with a travel agent, one of the biggest places you can save is picking a resort to staying at a value resort versus moderate versus deluxe. That's a big price difference in your cost per room per night.
Or even staying off-site at one of the Good Neighbor hotels. And there are some really nice ones.
Price shop those because sometimes they're better, sometimes they're not.
Right.
But definitely price shop those and see what's available whenever you're picking a resort for sure.
Yeah. And I can tell you on that offsite, I know some people say they like to be within the bubble, but some of them, to your point, Carly, when you're at a Good Neighbor hotel, I know we stayed at, I think Gene and I, our first run, we stayed at the Spring Hill Suites. Spring Hill, it's on Flamingo. And literally they had Mickey waffles for breakfast. I mean, everything was basically, it was decked out in Mickey stuff. You can say and make an argument that some of the stuff was even more than what they're doing with some of the refurbishments on the resort. So there was more Mickey stuff there, and they had a shuttle transportation. We didn't use that. We just drove ourselves to have that power. But offsite, you're out of the bubble, but you can save a ton, especially when you're like with a Marriott or something like that. And if you do have points, it's pretty reasonable.
And if you have the Marriott points too, we'll look at this one and Dolphin. Those are both Marriott resorts.
Yeah, it's very good point. And you're in the bubble because you can walk over to Hollywood Studios from there.
Yep.
That's awesome. So I have another tip as far as Disney merch and Disney gift cards. How many of you have Disney movie rewards?
I got it.
I do.
Right. Okay. So I guess I wasn't aware of all the awesomeness that you could order from so Disney movie rewards, every time you purchase movie tickets, and if you buy the DVDs, I don't know how many people buy DVDs, but even sometimes if you purchase online movies through Disney Plus, you get points from Disney movie rewards that you can for merchandise. And what we actually did this time was I watched for sales because they have sales on their points. And so they'll discount some items. And we found $5 gift cards from Disney that were discounted points. They were down below like how much $5 would actually be. And we ended up ordering, I think I ordered $20 worth of Disney gift cards from Disney Movie Rewards. So just going and seeing movies that we would normally go see anyway, we're earning points and then earning Disney gift cards. And it's worked out really nicely.
That's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
All right. What's up next?
Well, I have bring snacks and water and things into the park with you.
Yes.
I think that's a big savings. You look at
Water.
it, you're walking around World Showcase, or you just walk to any park, right? You smell a popcorn and you're like, oh yeah, I need to get some of that. Yeah, that adds up fast. But if you bring your things in, it's funny. We talked about the Good Neighbor hotels when they had the Mickey waffles and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, don't be the person that's at the bottom just loading up a Ziploc bag. I talk about those people, but they had people doing just that, right? But bring your snacks in. You'll save a ton.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Especially with
definitely.
the water. I mean, with the water and having a way to fill it up. I mean, anywhere you go, if you need water, they'll fill up a water cup or bottle or whatever. You just have to ask.
Yes. And oh my gosh, those snacks that you buy in some of the gift shops in the resorts or at the general stores that they have are ridiculous. Bags of little pretzels that are shaped like Chip and Dale that I mean would normally in a store cost maybe $1, maybe $2, are upsold for like $4. It's ridiculous. It's the exact same pretzels. So get an order from Amazon or get an order from a local grocery store and have it delivered. A lot of the, what's the name of the Facebook?
Ear for each other.
Ear for each other. Yeah, they do great deliveries. So have that stuff brought in. And if you want Mickey or Minnie or Disney themed things, they have a lot of places that do special cupcakes. They've got special breakfasts. They've got, special cookies and snacks that you can have themed to whatever you want. Have those brought into the room and then throw them in a zippy bag and take them into the park and surprise the kids with them at lunch and skip the dessert or skip the snack out of the cart. Definitely a huge money saver.
We don't skip the desserts.
I don't skip desserts. If I had a cookie and a zippy bag, I'm all about it.
Or if you're going to get a popcorn bucket, get the refillable ones.
Yes.
Right. And like I bought a refillable bucket, and y'all gonna make fun of me, but I bring it back each time I go.
I was going to ask that if you can bring it back.
Do they let you?
I bring it back all the time. In fact, they say it's per visit, but if you go, it's the same ones, right? So don't turn me into Disney. But I have like the 15th anniversary one. I've used it like 3 times, and bring it back in the park. $2. Get it filled up with some popcorn.
We always say we're going to do that, but we never want to carry the bucket around. So we always buy it the first day and then just leave it in the room the rest of the trip.
So we use the bucket to carry our snacks for the day. That's what we do.
I bring it all the time. It's attached to my
take
bag.
your Figment, Kevin?
What's that?
You want to take your Figment bucket?
I'm afraid it'll get damaged. I've got a cheap one that I'll take.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want somebody to bump into it and mess him up.
I'm really interested by that, Lonnie, because we had a, was it Mickey's Very Merry?
No, it's a Halloween
Mickey's Halloween party, the very first one. And we bought a refillable bucket. It was Halloween themed. And we took it to Hollywood Studios the very next day. And the woman at the popcorn stand was like, this isn't a current bucket. We can't refill it. And I said, no, like, I just got it last night at the Halloween party. She said, oh, okay. Yes, they're out at the Halloween party. We'll refill it.
But she thought it was a Halloween bucket from last year.
She thought it was an old one. So maybe buy the
generic ones.
Well,
the generic ones.
The generic one is the way to go. And if you go to the stand on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, there's a guy there that's usually there every time I go. And that's the guy. So he's
the man.
He'll hook you up.
You walk in and go, you got the popcorn.
Yeah.
All right,
my guy, right?
On Main
My guy.
Street?
Yeah.
Okay. The right or the left?
It's on the, if you're going out, it's on the right.
Okay. Cool.
And don't forget the maple popcorn is included in Canada is included in your refill bucket.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that next to the South America Pavilion?
Yes.
So you can pick up your South American steak and popcorn side by side.
Yes, definitely.
That's a good tip because I think that gives you, like, you can get your salty snack, but then if you want to change out midday and get the maple, then you've got your sweet snack too.
I think you can do the flavored popcorn by
the cheesy stuff.
By Figment.
Yeah.
That'll count too.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Yay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you've probably heard of Uber Eats Waiter. I don't know if you have Waiter there, but now it's changed to ASAP. But they're whatever the delivery service is. DoorDash. Those places deliver to the resorts, whether you're staying off site, on site, whatever. You can order Chipotle or whatever.
That's awesome.
So
And I-
right. It's probably comparable. I don't know this for a fact, but probably comparable to eating at the resort. And there's only so many choices. After a few nights, you don't want the pimento cheeseburger or the pasta or the roast beef, which looks good, and mashed potatoes or whatever the pizza. Order some Chipotle, order whatever.
It's a good
And
idea.
especially if you've got kids, like some
Mhm.
kids are very picky eaters and they want the same stuff that they have at home. And so that gives that added option. I like that.
You can get Chick-fil-A delivered, whatever.
There you go.
Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays. No. Nope.
Jody, do you have any tips that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, I have one to avoid Genie Plus because now with the price fluctuation and the change of that, where it used to be one price and now it changes. Mine is to wake up early and get to the parks early, because if you do that, that's going to be a money saver because you can knock out a bunch of rides while everybody else is still asleep. So in particular, if you're staying on property, you already get a half an hour advantage of those staying off property. So set your alarm, get up early, beat the crowd, and then hopefully you don't have to dish out more money for Genie Plus. Now, there's sometimes, if you're going to go Thanksgiving Day or something, it's probably going to be crowded. And if you want to ride more than 2 rides, you may have to, decide to invest in Genie Plus. But I think if you use the strategy of waking up and getting out there, then that's a great money saver. Then you don't have to spend whatever the price will be, because none of us know, because it changes now every day. So that's
I
my
had that on my list too. So I'm glad you brought it up. But I also had go back to your resort, nap or swim midday, and then head back to the parks in the evening while everybody else is at dinner and they're doing their sit down dinners. You're riding rides. And if you stay away from the fireworks and you stay tons of rides done, because everybody else is busy with the fireworks, which yes, Disney fireworks are great, but once you've seen it, you're kind of good. And also fireworks are fireworks. Like you can see those on 4th of July at home. So skip the rides, skip the fireworks, hit the rides, stay in the parks late, skip Genie Plus.
You can
giving me
see the
time.
fireworks at home. I
Right?
don't even know you anymore.
I know, but if you're trying to do Disney on a budget, like
Fireworks
I
are
feel
free.
like I understand the fireworks are free, but I feel like you can get more bang for your buck by avoiding the parks midday, skip Genie Plus, like Jody said, and hit all those rides while everybody else is doing fireworks. To each their own. I'm just giving optional tips, man. All right.
So a suggestion I have, if you're not doing a bare bone, stripped down, cheapest possible kind of trip, and you're going to do an occasional sit down meal, if you get that like a 10:30-ish kind of
Reservation.
it's a breakfast reservation for a lot of the places. They typically do a changeover between like 10:30 and 11
if it's
for
a buffet.
right, if it's buffet style.
So easier to dine and dash.
Yeah, exactly. They're not paying attention because they're changing over. Boom, out the door, and you're set.
See ya.
No, but you can get a little bit of the breakfast and you can get their lunch menus both as they're bringing stuff out. And then you're kind of set for the day. I think one big meal around that 10:30, 11, then I'm just eating a pretzel the rest of the day. I don't need another big meal at all. And at some of the restaurants, you get breakfast pricing and you get lunch and food.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, speaking of breakfast pricing, one of the things I've done at the races is if you want a Coke and you don't want to pay for the resort Coke and you want to do that, go with the kids meal. And even if it's not enough, get a second kids meal.
Mhm.
But the cups are small, but you get, I think, 3 refills or something like that. So
Yes.
it's a good way.
Especially if you have kids, because like then you can also split that kids meal. They're pretty large usually.
They are.
And so 2 kids splitting that kids meal, or dad and daughter splitting that kids meal, which happened a lot in our family.
Still happens a lot.
Yes. So good tip.
And Jeff, I was going to piggyback on one that you talked about. The if you are going to look at a sit down meal, breakfast is typically your best option. So if you are trying to save money, but you want to splurge and do at least one sit down, breakfast is cheaper. So try to look at that option if you can. Not every sit down restaurant has a breakfast option, but if you really want to go, to Cinderella's Royal Table, which is really expensive, breakfast at least will save you a couple bucks over lunch and dinner.
Mhm.
Ale and Compass breakfast is very reasonable and fantastic food.
It really
I've
is.
heard it's pretty fantastic.
So
All right, I have one that may not be popular because, I said skip the fireworks and everybody jumped all over me, but skip a day in the parks. Stay out of the parks, especially if you're just, buying tickets for your trip there and you don't have annual passes. Stay out of the parks one day, hit the resorts, take your time swimming and enjoying some relaxation. Or I love a lot of the resorts have some special themed free activities that you can do. If you go to Animal Kingdom Lodge, they have tours that you can do either through the resort itself or through some of the restaurants that are totally free. I love Wilderness Lodge because it has a hidden Mickey scavenger hunt, which was super fun. And we had, I think, pretty much a whole day invested in trying to find all of the different hidden Mickeys, and they give you really cute scavenger clues to look for them. It was a blast and totally free.
and on top of that is if you're skipping the parks or doing something, don't add the park hopper. That'll save you a couple $100 on tickets. And back when we did our trips, whenever they didn't allow park hopping back in 2020, maybe even 21, when we knew we were focused on one park, we did that trip completely different. And we just focus on things we might not have normally done in that park, because typically we go in, we hit the highlights of what we want to do, and then at 2:00 we're out or somewhere else. But we knew we couldn't do that, so we took our time and we did a lot of attractions that we typically glance over, and we really enjoyed that trip.
We
So
spent a lot of time in the resorts. It was great.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, Carly and Jeff. I wouldn't say we're going to jump on you for that one. In fact, all the resorts have something, right? I mean, if you look at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they have the largest collection of authentic African art, basically in the country, right there. So you can go there and look through that. And I'll give you something else. Just leave Disney altogether. I mean, Orlando has a lot of things you can do. My wife loves to go to the shopping centers outside of the park. So there are times when she said, "Can we just go shopping today?" And there's a huge outlet. I mean, that's all day there. The food is cheaper there as well, right? When you're outside of the park.
Does the shopping save you money typically? Just wondering, does shopping save you money typically?
Well, it's
Just wondering.
if it makes my wife happy, I'm okay with it.
Well,
It'll save
There
money,
you
and
go.
it still probably breaks even about going to Disney for that one day getting tickets. Right, so you do that. I'm like, this is your ticket money, and what we'll be spending. Just buy you a couple of things, and she's a good shopper. So yeah, and then you can grab dinner or lunch somewhere outside of Disney and try something different.
Portillo's, for instance.
Yeah, there you go.
Portillo's.
All right, what else do we have, Disney experts? My list is running thin, but I do have some more. One of my tips is if you're staying on Disney property, the refillable mugs are amazing. They sound expensive up front. I think they're like $19.99 or 20-some 99 right now.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness gracious, I get coffee in the morning. Anytime I'm in the resorts, I'm grabbing a soda. But also, if I'm at Disney Springs, I get refillable cups from different restaurants. So they're not the same Disney refillable mugs, but Homecoming has refillable drink bottles for the moonshine. And so it's a cool, like super large sipper. It's great. You can go back and take it back anytime. Like we have had the same bottles for years now. You take them back and they give you a discount off of your refill. Wine Bar George is the same. If you buy their Corksicle cups, anytime you come back, you bring your Corksicle with you and they'll fill it up with the Froscato, or they'll fill it up with the Dole Whip wine slushy that they have. That's amazing. And it's always a discounted price. So it's a little more upfront, but then you save over time.
Well, you have to spend money to save money for sure.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, it's something that I'm catching on to as we go through this, is that a lot of the things, like I haven't contributed much. I don't have a lot of ideas, but it seems like every time we go, I'm on a budget. And so a lot of these are the things that, you know, we just do, you know, as we're trying to save money. So I'm a big fan of the I haven't done the Wine Bar George or the Homecoming Cup. But as far as the cups, I mean, the first time we ever went, I know I'm going to drink a few cups of coffee. I know I'm going to drink, you know, sodas or, you know, whatever, whatever during the day. And it just, you do that quick math, you know, I didn't have to pull out a calculator to figure out that saved me money, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And my major issue with those are I'll get my coffee in the morning and then I'm stuck carrying around that mug all afternoon, which drives me crazy. But I saw someone on our last trip that had like a big belay clip, and they just popped the handle of the mug on that belay clip and clipped their belay clip to their backpack. And I was like, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that?
Grab some paper towels and shove down in there so the drips don't come out.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I stick it in the backpack, or if I've got a backpack with the cup holder things in it, I just
On the side. Yeah.
So smart. My last tip is look out for cheap souvenirs. Disney does have some cheap souvenir options. Stay away from the spirit jerseys, stay away from the ears.
Coffee mugs.
But coffee mugs, I love coffee mugs, and they're functional whenever you get home. So I always pick up a coffee mug. Keychains, the celebration buttons that I think are completely underrated. And I just learned a tip. If you go and get your celebration button from any of the, what are they? It's not a customer service. Guest services buildings, or from Disney Springs, you can take it into Magic Kingdom. If you take it back to the Christmas store for a couple dollars, they will personalize it for you. So they do like pretty fonts, or they can do Mickey ears on it. It's
They give you markers.
They do give you markers, but that's like just a couple dollars more. And I feel like that could be a really cute souvenir for a kid who doesn't know the button's free. And so
they do now. Thanks a lot, Carly.
I know.
Hey, Gene has this every time it's marathon weekend. He has this. It's my birthday one that he brings.
Yeah,
So he's
You may or may not have gotten me onto a ride or two.
And a dessert or two.
Exactly.
I haven't. I don't know that I've gotten a dessert. I don't remember, but I mean, it could have, and I just have forgotten. But it certainly got me onto one ride in particular that there were no fast passes for, and you know, my buddy, who is the most outgoing person I've ever met, you know, and I'm outgoing as well, and we talked to everybody, and somehow we got onto this ride.
Okay, we need to know what ride.
It was marathon weekend. It was for Expedition Everest.
No, it was Flight of Passage. It was like on Saturday.
Ooh.
It was fairly new.
Literally, in fact, they sent us. We talked 6 people on. It was all 6 of us.
So it was like
they said, all y'all, and they sent us through the quick line, so we didn't have to go through the regular line. We was on the ride in like 20 minutes. It was awesome.
And there were no fast passes.
No fast passes.
We talked to people on the bus that waited literally like 6-7 hours in that line.
Yeah. This guy from England, he rated 6 hours to ride that ride.
As I say it, it sounds unbelievable, but people really told us that.
So all because you had your birthday button on.
Well, and also, you know, might have had something to do with my first marathon and, you know, all that.
Nice. See, the celebration pins are the way to go. Free stuff.
And when you wear your birthday button and you're passing all, whenever the 2 lines, you know, where you're passing all these people when you're doing the marathon or whatever race, everybody says happy birthday. That's nice. You know, especially when you have to be away from your family and you got a whole, you know, 1,000 random strangers wishing you happy birthday, you know?
Yep. Smiles are free.
All right. Any last minutes?
I have no others.
Are we exhausted?
I think so.
I think so.
All right. I think that was actually a really good list. I think I came on thinking, I only have a few. I'm not going to be able to do much. But the more we talked, the more ideas came into my head. Like, oh, yeah, we do this. Oh, yeah, I saw somebody do this. So for all of our listeners who are on a budget, here you go. We hope that we've given you a few ideas to make your trip a little more enjoyable and make you worry a little less about the giant bill that's going to slip under your door on your last day of your trip. So before we close out, my favorite part of the show, always my favorite part of the show, we need to do quacking up with the ducks. So Jeff, you want to start us off?
Sure. And we were talking about budgets and stuff like that today and doing things on a budget. And some of you guys may know I'm accounting by trade. And I had a lot of finance classes and stuff going through college. And I had this one personal finance class that just drug on and drug on and drug on. It just had no interest.
Nice.
Kevin, you gonna help him out?
Yeah, so I was trying to fix my doorbell, and it's got some different wires on it. I really couldn't figure out how to turn the power off. My youngest was he was biting through it, trying to see if it was working. He due to his current conduct, I had to ground it.
Oh, that's
Lonnie, how about you?
You're on mute.
Lonnie, you're muted.
Okay, I'm going with an old
like a
school one.
rookie.
It's such a rookie podcasting mistake. You only did this like 40 times. It's just crazy. I said, I'm going old school. Okay, so 2 guys walked into a bar. The third one ducked.
And it's a duck joke.
Yeah, duck.
Sure.
There you go.
I also have a duck joke, so I'm going to go right now. I learned 2 new words today, guys. I was so excited. Did you know that the word induction means the act of inserting ducks? And deduction is the act of removing ducks.
Where are they being inserted and removed from?
Don't ask.
I know, right?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
We
No
will answer
follow-up.
those questions on Ducks After Dark.
I see a whole string of ducks behind Gene. Maybe.
All right, Jody, please save us from this.
Oh Lordy. So I'm gonna bring it back to race weekend because that's the one that I can focus on. What do sprinters eat before a race?
Mm.
I don't know.
Nothing. They fast.
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Riley told me a joke today, and I'm gonna have to say it because mine didn't get any laughs, and now I feel worthless.
Don't let us define who you are.
It's okay. It's okay. You already know the punchline. Do you know the worst thing about time travel jokes?
I get it. We already know the That's a good one.
It's a think one. It's a thinky.
I like it.
Jeff's still thinking.
Oh, I got it.
I said you already know the
I know.
punchline. You traveled, yeah. So I thought maybe you misunderstood.
I didn't laugh the last time you told it either.
Clearly, it must be a misunderstanding.
Gene, what's yours?
I don't have a joke.
He
I'm
doesn't have a
sorry,
joke.
but when we were talking about candy earlier, it just made me think that I remember a time where I could walk in the store with $1 and come out with, like 3 candy bars, some Fun Dip, and a Coke. And unfortunately, the security cameras these days.
I love how you always start off, I don't have a joke.
I just have life.
It's amazing.
We do not condone looting of any sort. Don't even want to put that out there. We're not saying the ducks that you can do it.
I don't think that would make a good excuse with the cops either. Like, the ducks said I could. That is not the way to budget at Disney and save money. No, thievery.
No.
No.
All right. Well, as always, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. Please check us out on our socials, Disney with the Ducks. We are on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are, stalking you in your backyard. No, probably not that. But we appreciate you so much. Please, on your podcast catcher, give us 5-star review. Let us know what you're enjoying. We'll try to do more of that. In the meantime, see you later.
Kwaharini.
Bye, everybody.
Traveling through hyperspace. That ain't Dustin Crops farm boy.
Are you crop
hey.
dusting?
Huh? What? Am I crop
Did you say you're crop dusting?
Hey, Gene, how about them Cowboys today?
How about them Cowboys?
Candy bars. More candy bars.
No, we don't have time to talk about candy bars. That took 25 minutes as the opener.
It was awesome, though.
Gene hasn't said a word since then, so he had to talk about.
You can also get like one of the big pizzas, and they're only like $25 or whatever. I mean, that's not cheap by pizza standards typically, but that'll feed 4 people too.
Wow.
Or me and Lonnie.